Good morning from Kisumu. For Oral's East African news, brands and people, today we are in Dunga talking to the iconic Dave Ngiri. Dave Ngiri is the driving force behind the Kor Diel Nation. Today we delve into Kor Diel Nation and the other projects that Dave Ngiri is about. Welcome. Could you just tell us about the Kor Diel Nation and what it means to you?
Well, Kor Diel as a brand, let me start by saying that, let me start by translating what Kor Diel means. It's actually a Luo word whereby Kor means chest and Diel means a goat. So Kor Diel, chest of a goat. So most guys have been wondering why my brand, why Kor Diel, and it is a very interesting concept that I'm a national fan of Maguna, and I have so much banter with the guys of Manu online. I mean, they're the only guys I can have banter with, by the way. So it's interesting that during our banters on social media, when I used to get overwhelmed with lots of Manu fans, it's a one-man army, I used to dismiss them like Kor Diel wewe. It's like saying Kwenda uko. So like Kor Diel wewe, Kor Diel wewe. So now it's funny that it now turned back to me, turned around, did a 360 turn. Now when I got to social places, meet a couple of pals, they were like, ulim so Kor Diel. You were Kor Diel, Kor Diel. Then someone just told me, hey, but you're getting so much accustomed with this Kor Diel phrase. Why don't you just elevate it and make it a brand? So it's interesting that I got a guy, there's a guy I used to work with, I used to produce his album. It's called Gregory, a very good, amazing graphics guy. So I just asked Greg, this is the concept. The brand is called Kor Diel. You do your work, you're the graphics guy, you're the creative guy. They usually say, never give creative work and then tell them how to do it. Let them do it by the way. So the guy did the first sample and sent me. There were no corrections. I told him perfect. So I went ahead, printed about 5 t-shirts for myself. I ended up wearing none of them by the way, because every single one I wore, guys were buying it by the way. So I went into mass production. But I realized at that time, sometimes you may have what is called dead stock when you go into mass production, unless probably you're a huge company having a huge merchandise supply. So what I did, I said, let me rethink about the business concept and now do it by order. So when somebody makes an order, I have an amazing guy in Nairobi who does for me the work. He's called Sway. Sway basically delivers my merchandise within Sway Julu, yes, an amazing guy. So he delivers my brand within 24 hours. By this, so when someone makes an order, I take the order. There's a payment plan you make through the till number. I give Sway. Sway takes the orders. If you're in Nairobi, it's easier. You can either pick in Nairobi or it gets delivered. If you are outside Nairobi, it's 24 hours. And actually, my brand now, the merchandise we're doing like the half jacket I'm wearing, the sleeveless, which has the stitch. And then I also have the full jackets minus the zip. That you either pick whether you want a brand on top of it, the huge brand at the chest, or you want it stitched. And then I'm also doing bucket hats and car stickers I give for free by the way. So that's why I think when you go to most towns, you see guys with Kor Diel. In fact, most guys think it's a car hire company or something by the way. But that's how the brand Kor Diel, basically the journey till now. And of course, I've also had guys who have an interest in now becoming what I call partners. In fact, probably, I'm sure this year we are planning to launch something like a Kor Diel group of entertainment, whereby we are basically venturing into events and showbiz business.
Beyond the merchandise, Kor Diel has evolved. It represents a certain kind of lifestyle. How would you describe Kor Diel and the people who wear this brand?
I'd say it's very interesting. I never expected Kor Diel to become that big. I mean, for me, basically, just a brand, something I'm sharing with my close friends, telling them, hey, you guys have this brand, help me promote it by purchasing a brand from me. Sometimes I used to give even free samples to my friends. Then it evolved. Now everyone was seeing the brand and wanted to be identified with the brand. So some guys have friends who even enjoy me that say that it's like Kor Diel has become a cult. It's become like a huge following. Everyone wants to be a part of it. And it's very interesting that what even propelled Kor Diel was even part of my motorcycle group, the Lakeside Riders. If you look at most of the bikes from Lakeside Riders, they have the Kor Diel logo on it. And it also helped push the brand. Because the even guys used to call me, I've been told you're the guy behind Kor Diel. I want a sticker, how much? And I'm like, no, stickers at the moment, I'm giving for free. And basically that's just to create what is called brand awareness. So it's become so huge, and but it's worldwide, not countrywide, it's now worldwide. Because I have guys who've ordered my merchandise who are in different countries, and everyone is impressed because when you tell them the history behind Kor Diel and then how the chest of a goat, which was sort of a polite insult to my opponents, but they became a brand. So everybody gets amazed by the stories, the revolution behind Kor Diel, the genesis, and everyone now wants to be part of it. It's now becoming a very huge movement, and I believe that in this 2024, we are going to make Kor Diel even much bigger than before.
Let me tell you a small story about Kor Diel.
Yeah.
So we go to Nairobi with my wife. We're going to an Airbnb late in the night, probably at around 3 a.m. And we see a car parked out there. It has the Kor Diel sticker. And I'm like, I think we're in a safe environment. If anything's to happen,
Yes.
if you tell these guys we're from Kisumu and everything else, these guys will have our
Exactly.
back.
Yes.
So for one, I think from my perspective, it's also elevated Kisumu because it's a brand from Kisumu.
Yeah, from Kisumu.
And it's like
made
Kisumu to
in
the world.
Kisumu. Yes, yeah.
And everybody that has Kor Diel, I actually know that this is somebody who can beat sherehe proper.
What was sherehe?
Yes, I actually get that vibe. I don't know if it's true. Kor Diel guys are they these lively people, jovial people, these spirits.
I would say that if you see the guys who actually wear my brand, they come from all walks of life. They're those guys who are, I'll say the happy souls, because those guys of sherehe, they're also the guys who wear my brand who prefer to remain undercover or behind the scenes. So when you spot a guy wearing Kor Diel, is chilled out, doesn't want to be exposed so much to the public. But I'll say anybody who is a part of Kor Diel Nation is basically a good vibe. Like I remember even at one time, it's very interesting that a pal of mine came from the States and she had sent her mom some stuff through a cab. But when the cab guy dropped the mom, the cab guy actually forgot to drop the luggage and went with the luggage. So they really just reached out via Facebook and said, hey, there's a cab guy who dropped my mom. This is the number plate of the car. But I realized he had a Kor Diel sticker. So immediately I reached out now to their chairman, who also had a Kor Diel sticker. And within 5 minutes, I was able to locate the guy, and the luggage was returned back to the guy. But yes, so it creates also a sense of belonging. You feel like you're in a community whereby you are safe. So part of being a brand is to create like togetherness. So it brings guys together. Yeah.
And could you tell us a little bit about the Lakeside Outriders? What's your role in it, and how does Kor Diel weave into the Lakeside Outriders?
Lakeside Riders is a motorcycle group. Basically, it's composed of. It started in Kisumu. I'll say started bikers in Kisumu. We came up with the name, me and Dr. Kevin from Bosia, good pal kabisa. So it so happened it's a very interesting story. Before I became a biker, when my wife was pregnant, the doctor who was in charge was actually Kevin from Bosia. And we didn't know each other, so it was by recommendation. And those days I remember Dr. Kevin Rambosa used to be this guy whereby the Rambosa you see during the day is different from the Rambosa you see during the night.
Definitely.
Yes, so I remember when I walked in, we both had long hair. So he had spiky hair, I had spiky hair too. So I remember when he came with my wife's file and was like, you're Dev Ngiri? I'm like, yeah, I have your wife's file. So immediately I called the doctor who referred me, and this guy is a doctor, I'm an intern, because I look like a doctor. Yes, and interesting, no, you're in Sevans, the guy is a doctor. So after my son was delivered, a week later I'm at Dunga Hill Camp. So I see a guy who looks familiar, coming with bike gears, spiky bike gears, and he's checked in with a loud bike. And I'm like, I know you, you're the one who delivered my son. He's like, yeah, I remember you. So our conversation started. That time I wasn't a biker, but I was interested in becoming a biker. So the guy said, I also know a couple of friends in Kisumu who owns bikes. So after I got my first bike, we formed a group called Lakeside Riders. But Lakeside Riders was more of I'd say a closed group who are not more into CSR activities or riding outside. Mostly our rides were private rides. Then we thought that just instead of riding for fun, we can form a group that can do CSR activities, basically giving back to society. We also done charity events and also doing rides across, just basically promoting Nyanza and Kenya as a as a tourist destination. So from Lakeside Riders, we gave birth now to Lakeside Outriders, whereby Dr. Rombosia is actually our current and still running president. I am vice president, cum liaison officer, and also in charge of marketing and publicity. So basically, I'm in charge of events, group rides, planning, and any activity involving CSR, also giving back to society. So how Kor Diel also become associated with Lakeside Outriders is because me being the brand ambassador for, or the CEO behind Kor Diel Nation, guys get fascinated when they see big bikes or groups of bikes. So I also just asked these guys, as an added bonus, allow me to give you guys free stickers on your bike. So you see, whenever guys who see the bikes, there's a brand of Kor Diel, and it's propelled us because our group, Lakeside Riders, we are also registered under Private Bikers Association of Kenya, PBAC. So we are recognized. That means by also NTSA. So we've also organized a couple of, just the same thing like the Konku being organized in Nairobi. We've done an event called East Africa Bikers event, one of the first guys I think to do it in Kenya. But apart from now, the Konku is now as a private motorcycle club. We're the first guys to do it in Kenya, so it ran for about 3 years. Last year we didn't do it because of time frame. We were thinking of hosting something with Kisumu County, but that didn't come through. So this year we're planning to make it bigger and better. So Lakeside Riders, the biking community, and even interesting, even bikers who are not part of Lakeside Riders, who are outside the county, this county here, also have stickers who are also proud to be associated with the brand.
Speaking of brands,
yeah.
You've been associated and you've been a force behind several brands in Kisumu.
Yeah.
Personally, I knew Dunga Hill Camp through you.
Yes.
Having nice shots, you are under that cactus-like tree.
Yes, the one tree.
Beginning. Yeah. Several other clubs when we were launching, you're behind them.
Yeah.
I've seen you on billboards around about radio. I've worked with you, in those spaces.
Yeah.
You and the brands. Where did this start, and how do you do it?
Actually, it's interesting that I'd say I carved a niche for myself in this community. First of all, was building my social profile, and this goes way back to a club called Tammy's that now gave birth several years to now Always. So it's very interesting that I used to have a group of friends. We used to call them, we still exist, by the way, we call ourselves the Kwati group. And how Kwati started is basically every member of the Kwati group used to own, before now, the Kwati phones, the Kwati keypad, yes. So, yes, so we used to have that group that used to have the Kwati keypads, and then we used to have a special spot for ourselves. At Tammy's, we used to have a corner reserved for Kwati guy. If you're a Kwati guy, you're not allowed in that corner. So by building first the Kwati group, I started building my social profile, because basically we know everywhere in this country, Facebook is very huge in Nyanza. Even most corporates and small business use Facebook for marketing. So I built first the Kwati brand, and then started building my social profile via Facebook. And I was marketing Tammy's a lot, and also my Kwati group. So I started doing blogs. I still have a blog called Kwati Leaks, but though it's been inactive for a while. But the Kwati Leaks blog propelled actually my social media career, and or platform. Let me say platform. And started doing lots of blogs in relation to guys from Kisumu, where guys from Kisumu could actually relate to. And then there's one time I did a blog about the clubs and DJs in Kisumu.
Yes, and DJ Slim, I saw.
Yes, DJ Slim. Yes, I did the stuff about the DJs, about the clubs in Kisumu. Then now I think the first place I ever marketed was Dunga Hill Camp. Now, Dunga Hill Camp is basically like my brainchild. Jack Paul, the owner of Dunga Hill Camp, wanted Dunga Hill Camp to be a campsite. That's why it's called Dunga Hill Camp. It's basically like should be a campsite. But then, and this is in 2013. So, being a friend, he asked me to come and check out the place. We have a beer under the famous cactus tree. Then the guy told me, hey, you have a couple of friends, I see you have a very huge following. How about you invite them over to come with their drinks, they can do barbecue, and then think about if they can promote the place for camping. But of course, I have more friends who drink than camp. So, yeah, so a couple of friends came down. I can mention a few names: Kenastan, Stanley Ugejo, Tony Ovich, late Jema Polite, may he rest in peace, Konaka. We came to Dunga Hill Camp, started doing our barbecues over there, and then taking photos. Basically, Dunga Hill Camp was a campsite. There was nothing fascinating about it. So they're doing photos, and guys social media were asking, hey, where's this place? So I used to tell them it's Dunga Hill Camp direction. And remember, for those who never knew about the road Dunga Hill Camp, this road was like a farm. In fact, not even a farm, it was like a quarry. Remember, they had rock, it was bad, terrible. But then there are friends who are very curious to have a place facing the lake. By that time, I remember Kisumu Beach Resort had closed, so there was no public place for guys apart from People Point. So guys were amazed about Dunga Hill Camp. The view started coming, and Jack Paul basically allowed guys to come with their drinks for barbecue, intending to have a place for camping. But then since he realized there are more guys who are coming and demanding for alcohol, even the guys who came with their own drinks, once they ran out of drinks, they wanted more. So Jack Paul started coming with cooler boxes and selling drinks. Then built a small bar. The bar increased, started building gazebos, and now Dunga Hill Camp is where it is because I worked at between 2013 and I think a period of about 5 or 6 years, I was actively marketing Dunga Hill Camp. So that now other clubs started contacting me for influencing, and I remember I had a very good run with there was a Turtle Band restaurant that was being done by a pal of mine, but it got closed when the road was being constructed. Now there's no proper entrance to the club, to the lounge, because of the road. And then I remember, I think the place I enjoyed working more than anywhere else from the clubs was actually Rowan Rooftop. Rowan Rooftop are a very nice concept owned by Harold Ochola, and the guy basically just asked me that you are friends. My bar is basically an upscale bar from what you've been seeing in Kisumu. It's basically a whiskey bar, and my clientele are also guys who come in and spend, and they're not ratchets by the way. So I said, let me step out of my comfort zone where I'm used to meeting each and everyone and try something exclusive. So I enjoyed really working for one, because they're the guys who are, I think that was between 2016 and 19. They're the only club in Kisumu who are paying me the highest ever by the. I remember I wasn't complaining in terms of their payment. Even me, when they gave me the offer, I was shocked, and I said I'd do it. And why I was impressed is that I delivered. And I remember that every time. It's the only, like you see when you watch movies whereby guys are going to a club, it's full, and you're told to wait. So when 5 guys check out, 5 guys get in. That used to happen at one. And you see guys used to complain, your club is 4 stories up, no lift. But then we used to get full, but because guys used to want to be part of it, and we marketed in such a way that there was FOMO. If you're not in Rowan, then you're missing out by the. So after that, after Rowan, I remember I moved to Janam. Janam was an interesting concept because yes, owned by Cornell, and Cornell is a cat that has 9 lives. He's been surviving in the industry for long, and when he opened Janam, he told me one thing: Ngiri, I want this club to work out. If it doesn't work out, this is the last club I'm doing. So I came in, checked the concept. I remember my pal Richard Mangala told me, Ngiri, I've seen you pulling stunts, but I don't think you like this one. Basically, we figured a point whereby on the first month, the waiters were more than the customers in the club. And Cornell, I think, was a bit frustrated. I told him, just give me 3 months. And on the second month, we brought Kidum for a street vibe concert. Down at the road, on the road there. And when Kidum came and photos went round, now guys were like, where is this place? And now every Friday and Saturday we started moving the club. We did an exact replica of the club pillars down to the street. And then on the 3rd month we were at a place where I think we started getting overwhelmed. We had to expand that road. We were just, I think, by the time before I left, we were about to take over the entire street, because I remember the biggest gig we ever did there was now in Ngiri. They were launching their frequency in Kisumu, and I remember Kibe. Kibe is a very good friend of mine. Most guys don't know by then. By then he was a biker. And I remember I was chatting with Kibe. Actually, when Janam opened, I contacted Kibe. He came to launch Janam. So when now they came as Energy Radio, I just told him, hey, Skuma for us, this thing, we do it at Janam. And I remember Jalango, also a good friend of mine, was the MC at that time by the. And we toured that street apart. I can't forget the biggest event ever Janam ever had was when we hosted the Energy guys. And for that, of course, now clubs started looking for me, sorting out. So, of course, I was going for the highest bidder. Yes, another thing I did African Rooftop. Also proud to be shared with it. I did Rohan Gardens again. Otro, now there's Otro. Nobody knew about Otro. So I went to Otro. I was given hosting for Fridays and Saturday. It was hard by then to market it because guys basically knew Mamba Zone is a Rumba Zone with Mabuda. So first few months were a bit tough, but second month it picked nicely. And even after I left, now you see now at Otro. Yes, you can get Otro. It's now like I'll say one of the biggest, craziest club in terms of traffic in Kisumu right now. Then from Otro, I moved back to African again. Did for them something for about 2 months. Now I'm freelance. You have a club, you have a joint, you have a party, call me, we negotiate. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
As we went down on the brands, what's the situation with vodka? Do you run? Are you the brand ambassador? You're the only guy probably in Kisumu who drinks vodka.
Yeah, true.
Proudly so.
Yeah, proudly by the proud. I think it's interesting that actually I used to be a whiskey guy. I used to be a whiskey guy.
You've had endorsements from whiskey.
Yes, Johnny Walker. Yes, I've also done influencing for Johnny Walker, Walker Town, and even on that one, I used to do whiskeys by the. And I remember there's a pal of mine works for IoT. It's called Paul. Paul used also to introduce me to different kinds of whiskey, 15-year-old, 18-year-old, different kinds, since he's been in that industry for a while. So I did whiskey, but now it's either the way, let's say, Kenyans drink. You see, like if you are in other countries, if you're doing whiskey, you'll probably buy a bottle. If you're two guys, do like half or a quarter of it and place the whiskey but as Kenyans, once the bottle's on the table, we have to finish and get another one. So I think also it's the way I used to drink. So I used to do lots of whiskey. But then I used to wake up with a serious hangover the following day, neat, and next week neat by the. Then I have a friend, same guy, pal called Richie. Richie told me that, hey, you know, we should try this vodka thing because I've been doing vodka in Australia. I was a vodka guy too. So I went into vodka. Tried first the flavored ones, didn't work for me, still headache. Then I went into Smirnoff vodka. That brand worked for me, or it's still working for me by the way. Every time I took vodka, I would wake up, and I do it neat or with water. I'd wake up fresh. And it's interesting that I've also worked for an alcohol company. I was a brand ambassador for Sierra Blonde beer by Uzbeko. Then I did for them, they gave me employment. They said, now that you're marketing our beer, why don't you be a sales guy? And yes, I did for them work for about 3 years. It was a good run by there. I think I'm the one who made Sierra big known in this region, marketed it for a while, and since I'm also in good terms with the bar owners and friends, I had guys I converted to Sierra. I remember even I have a couple of friends of VABL who told me that, hey, Vilonaendelea, tutakumaliza kwa hii ground by the because you know, we usually say you can't be those guys at this game by the but vodka guys, I mean, if they give me something to do with them, I'd be proud to say that, you know, some people get shocked. How do you do vodka? I'm like, this drink works for me. And if I tell you how to drink it, the way I do, it will work for you, by the way.
Smirnoff, I hope you're listening.
Yes, Smirnoff, EBL, you guys, I hope you're listening, by the way.
You have had a hand in one of the most iconic songs in the world.
Yes.
Tell me about your work in Waka Waka.
It's very interesting that in 2010, that's during the World Cup, that was in South Africa. That time I used to run a program with a group called Community Based Biodiversity Films. I used to be a filmmaker, and also, okay, I'm still a filmmaker, but I used to get trained on making film at that time. So I happened to be a lucky guy who was chosen by a program that is being run by ALIN. ALIN stands for Arid Land Information Network, Leicester University in the UK, and also the CBCF, the Community Based Biodiversity Films. So we guys were trained on filmmaking, storytelling, camera work, production, basically everything. Now it so happened that in 2010, I used to have a good friend from the UK. He's now a professor. It's called Eddie Morrison. Why we became friends, or how we became friends, at night after the lessons, I used to be in the workshop with my earphones. I'm listening to hip-hop. I'm a hip-hop. I love old school hip-hop with beers at night. So this guy one time came and phoned me at midnight, bobbing my head, and asked me, hey, I'm just curious, what are you listening to? So I just chommed the headphones so that I could listen to the speakers. I'm like, you're a fan of hip-hop? I'm also a guy of hip-hop. So introduction, we became friends. So every time we used to go for those sessions, after that we listened to music with him. So fast forward 2010, We've left like Bogoria, we are going to Nakuru. So the guy just tells me that, hey, by the way, I have a friend. My pal is called James Lees. James Lees works for Hobo Film Company, and we grew up in the UK. And James Lees is actually Shakira's producer. And I was like, hey, okay. So what's to do with this guy? This guy is coming in Kenya, and he wants to do a short film promoting education in Africa. And he asked me to look for a sound guy. And if you're interested, I can look you up. Of course, I was excited. I said, yeah, I didn't believe his story by the way, but I said, as long as there's money, yeah, why not by this? So I said, as long as there's money, why not? So fast forward, when these guys now are coming to Kenya, so the guy told me, hey, it's next week, these guys are coming. Are you ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. So I took a leave from job. And I remember very well, I said I was unwell for 1 week. So I went to Naivasha. When we checked in, of course, now we're called to where the meeting room was. And Ed told me this is James Lees from Hobo Film Company. Shook hands. His cameraman was Matthias Nyberg. And he told us that by 8 p.m. Kenyan time, he'll be introducing the team to Shakira. But of course, I didn't buy the story yet. Those days, I think the only thing we had was Skype and Facebook. There was no WhatsApp even by those days. Even IG wasn't there. So we couldn't research much and know about even Shakira performing, although we knew Shakira was performing during the World Cup in 2010 in SA. So now at 8 p.m. Kenyan time, now we are seated. The guy is funguad his MacBook, and I'm seeing Skype calling Shakira. So when Nani appeared on screen, Shakira.
Yes.
I think about that time I had Nokia. Before Apple, I used to be a guy of Nokia. So the Nokia E61i. I took a photo and I wanted to post because of the excitement. Then I remembered, I told my employer, yeah, I'm chatting with Shakira. So I couldn't post it by the, but I was so much excited after seeing on Skype. So what happened is there was the introduction. He introduced Shakira to the team, and then now they switched to Polish and started speaking Polish Shakira. But I couldn't hide my excitement. But I was so excited, telling guys, SMSing them, you guys, I've got a project that is going to propel me into greater things. So I remember following day we were given a brief. Those days they were using an H4 Zoom. And yeah, I'm not bragging, but I consider myself one of the best sound guys in this region. So I was very conversant with the sound production. And they told me what I'll be doing is only sound recording, not editing. And I was okay. So we did the thing for about a week. Every day we were spending about 2 hours, especially in schools, for secondary and primary, just recording kids, and of course with the consent by the and telling them what the project is about. And then I remember the last day we recorded a group of Maasai guys. Basically the kids were talking about what they want to be in the future. But as much as we were doing this project, I didn't know where it's going to be used. I just know I'm getting paid on the Shakira's project. So last day I was paid. I was happy guy. It's money. It was good money. I was happy guy. And I remember I was paid in cash. We went to the Barclays Bank in it's Absa Barclays Bank in Naivasha. Yes. I was paid cash, put in the bag, and I took the first month to Kisumu. I didn't want to sleep. And I came to Kisumu, banked the cash at my account, came back and relaxed. And when I left, I asked James Lees, the guy, director of Hobo Film Company, just one thing, to give me a recommendation letter. That's all I asked by the way. And he said he'd do that when he gets back to the UK. So after a month, he sent me the letter. That letter, I can say, was the beginning of my career in, let's say, the film industry and also media industry, because it's gotten me jobs, and it's the recommendation nicely written by they from a national company. And then the guy told us that what we produced for 6 days will be shortened to only 1 minute, and it's only into 1 minute, and it's going to be produced, played just before Shakira gets on stage in 2010 World Cup. So I remember we waited, by the way, and I remember very well before Shakira went on stage, that video was played for 1 minute. Most guys who watched it, I think, thought it's an advert, but with my excitement, I knew I'm the guy who recorded the audio. That excitement. So it's something that even I think those days were before YouTube was big, and also other social media platforms like WhatsApp currently. It was loaded into a platform called Vimeo. Yes, Vimeo, yeah, but now it's expired. Although the excitement from getting that letter and working with Shakira for me, even though I didn't meet her personally, but I was proud to be part of that project. So even when I'm doing my CV and applying for jobs, I have that recommendation letter.
Yeah, that was some iconic work.
Yes.
Dave, tell us a bit about yourself. Where did you grow up? Where did you school? And where did you start living in this city that you got so much interest in?
Actually, I'm born and bred in Kisumu. I was born here. I remember very well. I was born Lake Nursing. Lake Nursing became Lake Med. Now it's no longer there. I remember I grew up in that place. It was called Nairobi area, but actually it's in Migosi. I remember very well. Then from Migosi, we guys moved to Manyata. From Manyata, we moved to Kilo. Kilo is down here. And I started my primary school at Jolomino. That's the primary education in Jolomino Primary. Secondary, I went to Ramba High School, completed my 4th form. Then immediately after secondary, I got a job. My mom hooked me up with a job for civic education. Did that after secondary for 2 years. Then joined college, Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology. I studied marketing diploma. And interesting, while I was in college, I was also learning music production. Yeah, so after college, interesting, after 2 months, I went actually to record my song since I was an artist, my song with my crew. So the studio I went to, the producer had gone for December holidays, never came back. So the guy asked me, can you record? I'm like, no, I can only produce music, but the beats. What if I give a chance to learn? I'm like, I don't mind. He gave me a manual for, I remember, Yamaha workstation, AW1600. Why I was amazed is because I was seeing this machine in music videos. The machine that you click, recall, and everything moves by itself. Yes. So I went and read the book for, I think, 3 hours, the manual. The following day I was recording. So,
and you graduated from what, Fruity Loops or something?
From Fruity Loops, by the way. Yes. Following day, I was recording perfectly well with the machine, by the way. There was no computer, only the machine, by the way. It was just that hardware. And what I like about it with the AW1600 Yamaha is that you could record music, edit, and burn the CD there. The guy goes with the CD, pack a mastering. It was an amazing machine. So that's how I started production in this industry. And I remember during my high peak production time, I was featured in so many magazines, also newspaper, and we also, I remember Safaricom Star Search, we guys were part of it. We propelled all the way to the finals. We were on TV. That time, Nation had a program called Warehouse, and then we also had KBC, and also KTN showed part of our performances, and that's how I started building my music career. So after that, college life, I decided to venture so much into production. Went to my first media house I worked for was Lake Victoria FM. From there, I went to Urban Radio, then Lolo TV. And then now within this time when I was working for the TV and radio, I've also done lots of projects for other organizations.
What's next for Kor Diel Nation? What's next for Dave Ngiri? And as you conclude, you'll also share with us where we can get your merchandise and share with us your contacts.
First, let me share where you can get the merchandise. The merchandise, I have an IG page. For those who are on IG, it's Kor Diel _Nation. It's on IG, and my orders are available by order. My contacts are there. You inbox me on IG or on Facebook for those who are following me. On Facebook, it's Dave Ngiri Odira. On IG, I have Dave _Ngiri, and then there's Kor Diel _Nation. And if you want the Kor Diel merchandise, basically make an order. There's a catalog there of different colors. So what you do is just order for size and color. Give me an order within 48 hours, sorry, you'll get your order. Yes, by the and what's next for Kor Diel? Like I said earlier, I'm planning to partner with a few friends of mine who show an interest in Kor Diel, and basically this is to make it a showbiz also company, whereby we're doing events and also collaborating with the guys in the entertainment industry for promoting events in their clubs. But basically we want to organize our own events. So I'm having a few partners who also want to invest in that, and also to invest in the merchandise sector, whereby now, just apart from doing the bucket hats, the hoodies, We're also going to go into trousers, jumpsuits, ladies wear, all those different wears. For Dave Ngiri, I'll say there's still a lot more than I think I intend to do. I intend to still remain an icon in the media industry, especially in this region when it comes to marketing, influencing, and I'm willing to work with anybody provided we can do business. And I also want to work with guys who do CSR activities, basically giving back to society. Yeah.
Guys, you've heard it all from Dave Ngiri. We'll be talking to Dave Ngiri some other time about other projects, but for now, that is it from us, Oral East Africa. At the heart of the story.